welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kristen and I post a lot of content about knitting here and crocheting. Those are two things that I really enjoy, more so knitting recently, but also I just post some updates about what's going on in my life and some things that I am doing that I thought would be interesting to share. And recently I moved in with my fiance in Miami. We moved from New York and we're getting married in 3 months. So I think a lot of my upcoming videos will probably be some wedding updates and things of that nature. Today's video is it's connected to that, so I'll explain. Also, if you haven't been here before, this you wouldn't know, but if you have, this plant has grown so much. And I wanted to mention that in the video because I'm super excited about it. I got this plant in my earlier videos. You can see it was like a tiny little plant, and I just got to hang it up on the wall because it's grown so much, and every morning I wake up and I see it and I get excited. So I just wanted to point it out in case anyone missed that. But today's video has to do with me trying to be a little bit more of a minimalist. And to preface this, I am not a minimalist. I wish I was better at it. I envy people who don't have a lot of stuff everywhere, but I do have a lot of stuff. So this past summer, me and my fiance moved from New York to Miami, and we drove with all of our stuff. I did 2 trips, one with my mom and my sister when I first moved in, and then one with Michael, my fiance, a few months later. And all of my stuff is now here in our home. And we have a condo, and it's not that big, so we don't have a crazy amount of stuff because everything kind of has a little spot, which is good. However, we're getting married, and we have started receiving gifts from our wedding registry, and like housewarming gifts and wedding gifts and things like that. And it's very exciting because we have gifts coming in. It's like Christmas time, but for an adult, because we made a registry. It's like a Christmas list of things that as an adult you feel like you might like in your home. And a lot of the stuff that we currently have is things that we bought that were maybe not very expensive, that we had in college, things like that. And so I really want to make room for our new stuff. Basically is the point of this video. We have new exciting stuff coming into our lives, and I want to make sure that I have the physical room in our home to take care of all of that stuff and to have a home for all of that stuff and to treat it all right. That way these things that we're getting can last us a lifetime, because a lot of them are like kitchen, home stuff that will last a really long time if we take good care of it. So I am getting rid of stuff to make space for new stuff, which is not really the point of minimalism. If I was doing it right, I probably wouldn't get new stuff, but that's okay. So I wanted to show you guys what I was getting rid of and maybe give you some ideas for things if you were trying to downsize a little bit that you can look through and think, oh, maybe I don't need this. So I have this bag here. There's probably about 20 things in it was the goal. I just filled this bag. I filled this bag with stuff. So I'm gonna go through it. It's about 20 things, and hopefully it gives you some ideas of things to get rid of. And if it does, or if you have some other ideas of things that you're like, hey, you should look through this, maybe get rid of some stuff, let me know. I'm starting off with just what's at the top, which are these boxes. And I obviously don't just keep cardboard boxes, but I will say that in my kitchen cabinets, they get really full sometimes. And so, like, for example, this was a box of snacks, and they were pretty small individual ones, and then I had one left for like 3 weeks that I was not eating, and I didn't want to eat it yet because at some point I'll be excited to have it, but keeping the whole box was silly. Similarly, I had 2 boxes of hot chocolate that could easily fit in one box, so they got combined together. I would recommend doing this. I went through my kitchen today. There were a few other things that I was able to, my parents always called it like kissing the 2 things together, like if you accidentally open 2 similar things that you can throw in the same box or in the same container. So I went through some stuff and did that today, and it did make space in my kitchen. So maybe try it out and see how it goes for you. Maybe you don't accidentally open 2 ketchups in the fridge, but maybe like me, you do accidentally do that sometimes, and it might make some space to combine them. So that was number 1. Second thing is this purse. I am not a big purse girl. I know people that are very good at matching their bags with their outfits, and that is just not me. I like to pick out outfits, I like to go out, but I tend to just cycle through the same 3 bags, and this one I used in college a lot. It was a good going out bag in college, but I just don't use it anymore. and I didn't want to get rid of it because it's, I don't know, it's cute and it's very functional, but I don't need it. So we're getting rid of it. We're not throwing it out, we're donating. So that's number 2. Number 3 are these coasters. In college, I had coasters on our table that said "Wine a little, laugh a lot." Very cute. In college, I was just able to start drinking. Me and my friends would buy wine and have wine nights, and my fiance hates them. He's like, we're not putting those in our house, and I don't love them as much anymore either. So those are gone. Decorating our home is something that I've had, I don't want to say trouble with, but I want to buy things that are both functional and cute, and I also don't want to buy things unless I love it. And as a result, our home is still a little bit bare in spots. I wish it was a little bit more decorated. We just took our Christmas decorations down, and I wish, oh, that's another thing I forgot to put in the bag. Some of our Christmas decorations I am getting rid of because they're just terrible quality, and I need to invest in better Christmas decorations. But yeah, decor is hard because that tends to sometimes clutter things when you get decor that maybe you were excited about, and then you bring it home and you're like, I didn't need this. So the coasters were something that we don't really need. We don't have a coffee table that we're trying to protect. We don't need them. Next thing, I'm gonna stop counting and I'll put it on the screen. I'll write everything. But these little bags, if you buy a lot of jewelry from like markets and things like that, which I try to do, I try not to get a lot of jewelry from regular stores just because I tend to buy things and then not use them as much as if I got it from some kind of fair or someone online. But they all come with these little bags usually. I don't know if you guys experience that. I have a lot of these, and I'm always like, oh, this is cute, I can use this. What if I go away and I want to put something in it, or I don't know. I don't know what I think I'll need it for, but I have a lot of these, and we're getting rid of some of them because we don't need that many of those. If I go away, maybe I need one to throw some jewelry in, but that's it. The next thing on my list is a sticky bra, and I don't know if other people like wearing sticky bras. I, to be honest, don't wear bras that often in general. But if I do, it's not going to be a sticky bra. And I bought this for an event, which I didn't end up wearing it to, which means I've literally never worn it. And then I haven't worn it since. I didn't wear it to the event, and I don't need it. I have one bra. I know people that own a lot. Girls, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you wear a lot of different bras, because I have one. And that's, aside from sports bras, but like one real bra that I wear, and it does the job, and it's cute, and it's comfy, and it is flattering, and I don't know, I'm not the kind of girl that has a lot of bras because I don't wear them that much. Next thing on my list, this is my planner from 2021. This is my planner from 2022. Today is January 19th of 2023, and I am not buying a planner this year because neither of these were used, and I still have my 2021, and I moved from New York to Miami, and I brought my 2021 planner with me in 2022. Why? I don't know. I didn't really use either of these. I did in the beginning of the year when I started. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be good with my planner this year. That didn't happen. Maybe in 2024 I will be more mature and I will stick to a planner, but that's just not the goal of 2023, so we're not getting one this year. Going through the stuff that I'm getting rid of, I also thought of things that I shouldn't buy, and planners were a big one that I was like, I am not doing that this year. I'm also done with, I just finished college in October. And I feel like planners are something that I tried to use to keep track of my schoolwork. I'm not in school anymore, so we're not getting a planner this year. The next thing. This cup is symbolic of a lot of things that I am both getting rid of and also making a change for the future, similar to the planners. I got this cup. It says Tobacco Road, which is a bar in Miami. It's actually like, I think they say it's the first bar that was in Miami. And then the back says Miami as, and then a bad word. I got this cup when we went to the bar, me and Michael, the first time we visited Miami, and we ended up moving here, and we loved it, and we were looking at homes, and it was sentimental, and so I kept it. The words are fading off, and we've never used it. And I do this a lot. Like if I went to a bar recently and it was like themed night and they had little fishbowl drinks. So I was like, oh, I could bring the fishbowls home and then clean them. And when we have guests, I can make fishbowl drinks. How cute. And again, I never did that. So we're getting rid of those. I have like a cute little bucket that I got a bucket drink in once. We're getting rid of that. And we're not bringing these home anymore because I don't use them. I always think they're cute. I think they're sentimental, and I don't need them. I don't want them. They take up a lot of space in the cabinet. I actually like took them all out and reorganized the cabinet, and it looks like so much less stuff in there now because these just take up so much space. So plastic cups, we're not taking them from bars anymore, especially when I've had a few drinks and then the cup is cute and they say I can keep it. We're not keeping it. We don't need it. Hopefully we're not going to keep it. That's the plan. We will see. We did part of our registry for our wedding ask for nice wine glasses, and so hopefully once I have those and a closet full of like nice glasses and stuff, I won't want those plastic cups anymore. That's the plan. The next thing on the list, and let me know what you guys do. I love going to the bookstore. Me and Michael love going to Barnes & Noble together, or there's a local bookstore here that we like to go to, and buying books. We have a giant collection of cookbooks. Michael, I'm looking behind the camera, has a bookshelf that is packed with books. He loves having books. But this one we got from the library, and a goal is to start going to the library more rather than buying books, because after you read a book, and there are certain books you want to keep, like cookbooks, you know, you'll refer back to them. Michael decided he wanted to read a parenting book. We are not having a baby yet. We're getting married. I'm not pregnant. But he saw this parenting book and he was like, I should read a book about parenting because one day we'll be parents. And then he asked me to read it, so I did, and it's from the library, so we're gonna go return it. And we're gonna try to do that more rather than buying them. We kind of agreed on that just because otherwise you end up with a lot of books, and some of them are nice to have and refer back to, and some of them you're just not going to. Similarly, Michael would like a Kindle, which I think is a good idea. I had one as a kid. I haven't had like a Kindle or some kind of e-reader since I was young. But they are nice that they take up a very small amount of space. I like having a physical book, so I think I'll go to the library, but books do take up a lot of room, and if they're one that you're not going to refer back to, maybe try to borrow it or go to the library or, you know, find it online, things like that. That way you're saving money. It's fun to trade books with people too, like me and my sisters do that sometimes, and it's definitely fun because then you can talk about them and you're reading the same things. But yeah, me and Michael like to go on Barnes & Noble dates. We have a lot of fun, but it's expensive and it takes up a lot of space in our home. So we're trying to be more mindful with the books we buy. The next thing on the list, that is on my list of things to be more aware of is crafting stuff. And so here I have some stuff that I'm just throwing out, and I'll talk a little bit about it because I know it's controversial, especially in the knitting world. So the first thing is I'm trying to buy a little bit less yarn and other crafting stuff, but honestly, I'm okay with that. As in, I have more yarn than I need, but I do use a lot of it, and part of my problem with I have my stash behind the camera is that my stash is a lot of acrylic yarn that I bought before I knew much about yarn, and for some projects I still use it and it's great, but there's definitely some projects that I would like a nicer, softer yarn for, and I'm just trying to get through all of the yarn that maybe isn't the best, that I don't really want to make like a sweater out of, because if you're going to invest a lot of time into knitting a sweater, especially if you're a slow knitter like me, you don't want it to be scratchy and uncomfortable and not warm. But this also is scrap yarn, and in the knitting world, people tell you keep your scrap yarn, use it for things. You can use it to stuff a stuffed animal if you knit one, you can use it for stripes on a project, and I agree, I completely agree. But sometimes scrap yarn is knotted and it's a very small amount, and it just is stressful to find a place to put it. So we're being more mindful with what we keep and what we say, you know what, maybe I don't need this. We throw it out. Wow, we have a few more things. Okay. This is a big one that I went through my kitchen. I only have 2 with me right now, but we don't order food that much. When we do, and it comes in Tupperwares, I try to keep them so that way we're not just throwing them out. And so then when I cook meals and I have to put the leftovers in the fridge, I can use these Tupperwares that they gave us from usually the Chinese food place. But I looked through all of them, and I had a few where like the tops and the bottoms don't click together correctly, and then you can't use them because there's not much you can do with that. So I think I'm gonna try to go through that more often and see what actually fits together, and if things don't fit, like those 2 tops don't have a bottom that they snap in with, somehow they disappeared, then we're throwing them out because we don't need them. I have lots of Tupperwares. Also, I've been trying to use glass more for the sake of my health because I've been hearing a lot about plastics and things like that. And it's something I've been trying to be aware of. And so sometimes I microwave things in plastic, which people say is bad. And so I'm trying not to do that. So we're getting, hopefully, glass containers. They're on our registry, another thing that might come in, and then we can transition out the plastic things and try not to order food that comes in plastic things for the sake of the environment and for the sake of not hoarding Tupperwares that kind of don't work very well. The next thing, so this I've had next to my bed, this little folded piece of paper for a while, and I've been trying to be more aware of this in both my physical life and my technology side of my life, and that is that, I don't know if other people do this, but you open a tab on your computer or your phone and you're like, oh, I don't want to forget about this, I'm going to leave it there. Or, you know, I have a piece of paper of something I want to remember, so I leave it next to my bed, and then I don't refer back to it, and either it's not that important and I don't care, or I don't forget it and I just look it up at a later time, which is fine. So I have this, which is about the gym where I've taken some fitness classes. It's their QR code to their schedule. And that's great and all, except I know their website and I've never used the QR code. I just search the website when I want to sign up. But I was worried, what if I forget it or something, so I kept it. But I'm not going to forget it. So we're getting rid of that. I keep things out of fear that I'll be like, oh, I should have kept that. But I very rarely feel that way, so I think I need to kind of let go of that fear a little bit. Okay, we're almost done. I think one more major thing in here. Yeah, one more thing. Oh, actually, 3 more little things. One thing I lost, actually. That's okay. The first thing is I went through all my pens and stuff, and this is just one. I have a little pile of them, of pens that don't work very well, and I forget to do that a lot, and I end up with a pile of pens that kind of suck a little bit. This one, beautiful gel pen, probably was really fun for like a week. Stopped working. There was also another thing in the bottom of my bag which I have misplaced, so I need to find it before I throw everything out. But it was just a little elephant statue, which was another decor thing that I'm just trying to be more mindful of. If I have decor on like the bottom shelf, it was on the bottom shelf of my nightstand behind a bunch of stuff, you couldn't see it. Maybe I don't really care about it that much, and maybe I should just get rid of it. I don't know where that went though. I just remembered that it was in here, and I guess he ran away. That's okay. Last thing is clothes, and I got rid of a lot of my clothes when I moved from New York to Miami, partially because there's no cold weather here, so I got rid of a lot of that stuff, and then also just things I didn't wear. But here are 4 more dresses that are either, 2 of them are damaged, and so I'm just gonna throw those 2 out. I wish I was a better sewer and maybe I could salvage them. However, they would be pretty tricky fixes. And then 2 are things that I will donate because there's nothing wrong with them. I'm never gonna wear them. That is my bag of things I'm getting rid of. I think I did a pretty good job. I'm hoping to get rid of more in the future. Maybe I'll make a part 2 video and I'll show you guys my new bag of stuff that I'm gonna get rid of. There are definitely some things that I would like to get rid of and I'm having a little bit of trouble parting with. Some of my decor things, candles. I have a bunch of candles and I don't like candles. I don't really like lighting candles, which I know some people love candles. I'm just not a candle girl, but I have a bunch of candles. Some of my makeup-y stuff that maybe I don't use as much, but I like having a bunch of makeup stuff. Yeah, but that's it. So that's the stuff that I'm getting rid of today. I hope that maybe this helped you to inspire you to get rid of some stuff. If it did, maybe give me a little like and a subscribe or comment and let me know what you're getting rid of. Also, if anyone has advice for becoming a bit more of a minimalist, and I'm not saying like total get rid of everything minimalist, but just to make more room for things that maybe matter more in my life. Like now that we have a registry and we're having our wedding, we're getting a lot of items that are nice quality and that will last us a lifetime, hopefully, and maybe the things that I have from college in our kitchen don't need to be there anymore. But yeah, if you have any advice or if this inspired you to get rid of stuff, just comment and let me know down below because I'd love to hear about it. And I hope that if you're still here, that means that you enjoyed watching this video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!